Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for a massive New Zealand derby in Super Rugby Pacific. This one, the Hurricanes taking on the Chiefs at FMG Stadium. We're at the business end of the competition, and this game is definitely going to be one of the many great games over this weekend. Only 2 weeks away from the playoffs getting underway, and the way that the table sits, both of these sides, they are confirmed inside of the top four. It's just more of a question of who is going to be finishing where, and with it being so close at the moment between 2, 3 and 4, and also you could argue number 1 as well, could be anywhere that these sides sit at the end of these last 2 rounds. But the Chiefs, they are in 4th at the moment. If they were to win this game with a bonus point, they would find themselves moving up to 2nd. That is with the exception, unless we see the Hurricanes get themselves that bonus point, then that would keep them in 2nd just for now. But the Hurricanes win this game and they don't even need a bonus point for at this stage in this competition, they would be number 1. But looking through at the starting lineup for the Chiefs, both of these sides going with extremely strong teams for this game at FMG. Aidan Ross, Samisoni Taukei'aho and George Dyer will be the front row for the Chiefs. Marakai Selby Rickett and Tupou Vaa'i as the two in the locking duo, with Simon Parker, Kalen Boshier and then Luke Jacobson slotting in at number 8. Cortez Ratama and Damian McKenzie, perhaps a combination that we could be saying for the All Blacks in only a couple months' time. Quinn Tupai and Anton Leonard-Brown in the midfield, with Etino Nanai-Seturo, Imoni Narawa and Sean Stevenson as the back 3 for the Hurricanes. They've got Xavier Numia in the front row alongside Raymond Tupu. Got himself his first try in the starting lineup last week in that contest up against Moana Pacifica. And then Tossi slotting in at 3. Justin Sangster and Isaiah Walker-Leawiti will be the locking duo, with Caleb Delaney making his way off the bench. Devin Flanders at 6 and Brad Shields in that starting 6 jersey. Peter Lakai, who's been just in tremendous form over last season, I was going to say, but even the season prior to that, when Ardie Savia had an injury, Lakai did step up when he was given that chance. And Braden Yorsi, who's been another informed player, starting at the number 8. TJ Perenara in his race with Julian Savi to see who has the most tries by the end of the season. He is currently in the lead in the all-time try scorers for Super Rugby. And the man on his outside, not a huge amount of tries to his name. He's got quite a few assists throughout the season, that being Brett Cameron, with Geordie Barrett and Proctor in the midfield, and Kitty Naholo, Josh Morby and Ruben Love as the back 3 in the chat. We have got a lot of people already. I do appreciate you all being here. We have got Vishal saying, "Hi Hamish bro, welcome in." We have got, "Hey Hamish, how are you?" says Riley. I'm very excited for this weekend. Not only do we have Super Rugby, but we also have the Challenge and Champions Cup finals. I love when you talk to you, Timmy. Say, Connor says, "I Lollipop and good morning from Cape Town. Welcome in." I hope I pronounced it a little bit better. I'm glad that they are possibly missing out on the top 8 in the URC, as they are one team we haven't quite been able to get the name right. Hello, going to be a cracker of a game, says Novmum. Certainly is. And no Shields or Lomax for the Hurricanes. That's a shame, says Joe Webby. Although the thing is, even without those two, don't get me wrong, it's probably, for me, that front row's a little bit of a concern for the Hurricanes compared to Aidan Ross, George Dyer, as well as Samisoni Taukei'aho. But Xavier Numia has just been in some terrific form in the last 5 or so weeks. Last year it was the same. He was scoring tries for fun, and that's something you don't normally say about a prop. So I feel like his work in this game up against Dyer will hopefully make up for the fact that they don't have Tyrell Lomax. Tossi, of course, we've got to remember, he was the man who got the golden point try in the game up against the Reds in one of the earlier rounds of Super Rugby. I want to see more work from Flanders, though. I feel like that is somewhere that they are definitely going to need a player to step up, because Shields, he's been pretty consistent over the last little while, and the fact that he's not in the starting lineup, the fact that Flanders in his last game maybe had 3 carries or something like that, I think we need to see a lot more work from the Hawke's Bay flanker. We have got there Hamish back in the commentary seat, says Roof. We certainly are. It's been a little while, about 5 days, somewhere along there. Go the Hurricanes, says Darren Link, and I'm going with the Hurricanes here. I think they'll kick it, says Ruth. And that's the thing, they come in as slight underdogs for this contest, but based off recent form, of course, they've had a little bit of an up and down patch, but one thing's for sure, they have still got the potential of beating any side in this competition, and in fact, they almost have, I believe, at this stage of the comp. They were able to beat the Chiefs in the first game that they played, in this game that they lost to the Blues. In fact, I think the only team they haven't beaten in the comp might be the Brumbies, now that I think about it. I I think everyone else they have managed to beat. But they also had that game last week up against Moana Pacifica, a relatively close one, but winning it by 8. Of course, losing by 8 is always brutal because more than likely you're missing out on any chance of a bonus point. We're only about 4 minutes away from seeing if either of these sides can get themselves the bonus point. Hurricanes man here, a team by 7 points. WTF is going on with New Zealand Rugby Administration. I have no idea. I haven't actually seen anything. What is it? They are talking about Lollipop. Kia ora. Everyone come on my Chiefs, says Mana Black. And Hamish Royale's uncle and auntie. My hello to both of them. They're doing very well. Probably watching this game as well. Seeing who's going to get themselves the win in the first of 2 New Zealand derbies that we do get to see today. Good evening, Kiwi lads. Or sorry, over the weekend rather than just today. Interesting game tonight, says Blues Nate. And an important game too. Because I would say if the Chiefs lose this, they probably lose their opportunity of being anywhere near that first or second spot. But if they can win this game at home, they could also create a little bit more of a gap between the Blues and anyone else if the Blues can get themselves a win over the Crusaders. In the next contest, see there's bad weather and storms in Caledonia. New Zealand, is that correct? I will believe you. I haven't read anything, but then that's probably not an indication that it's not happening. It's just more of the case of I'm not very up to date with news, really. I see Te Taroa Tahuri Rangi in the reserves for the Chiefs. Didn't realise he was still playing, says Joe Webber. He gets the occasional opportunity. I think with the fact that they've had Xavier Rowe and Cortez Ratama both doing extremely well this year, it has meant that they haven't really had they just say a late change for the Chiefs? No, it looks like it's all good. I thought for a second that they mentioned that someone else was getting switched out there. Peter Lakai to confirm his AB selection tonight. Hot tip. I think he's already confirmed his AB selection though. So even if he has an average game here, I think he's still got to go in as a bolter. The way that he's played throughout this season, the fact that he's pretty much come from that New Zealand under-20s and looked like an experienced veteran out on that field, like if he's not there, I would be extremely surprised. Because I'll pick him over Papali'i at the moment, and I know that a lot of people are fond of Papali'i for the ABs, but I think Lakai, based off form, is a mile above. And Chiefs on. They're going to start to kick in. Good time of the comp to kick in. Chiefs by 12. I was a Hamish try saying Con Act. That's close. Says Fleshin. I probably said it too much with a Kiwi accent, didn't I? Go the Cane, says Scott. And also, is it possible that the Chiefs can take top spot? And how? Well, they can't at the end of this round. But they could if they get themselves 2 bonus point wins and the Blues lose their last 2 games. And I believe that would have to be without bonus points in either of them. Because the most points that the Chiefs can end up on is 52. The most that the Blues can kind of finish with, or the least that they can finish with, is their 50. So 2 bonus point wins for the Chiefs and a little bit of unluckiness for the Blues would mean that the Chiefs can go to number 1. What's the Chiefs lineup? Says Riley. I mean, we did go through them just before, but we will go through them again just because you must have missed it. But Aidan Ross, Savasoni Takiaho, and George Dyer will be the front row. Manakai Selby Ricka and Tupavai in their locking duo with Simon Parker, Kalen Boshier, and Luke Jacobson in their loose forward trio. Cortez Ratama and Damien McKenzie as the 19 combo with Quinn Tupai and Anton Leonard-Brown slotting in as the midfield as the 2 sides are just making their way out onto the field. Atino Nana Satora, Moni Narua, and Sean Stevenson as the back 3. So a lot of guys that will be in the All Blacks just around the corner. What's the weather like there, mate? It actually looks like a nice evening. I'm not seeing any signs of rain, but it is going to be dewy because it is winter almost here in New Zealand. Sorry, says Riley. It is all good. Go the Canes, says Scott. And also who's going to be the game changer for the Canes in this one? See, I feel like it's either Braden Yossi or Peter Lakai in terms of that forward pack. Backline, I think that Billy Proctor is going to be a very handy player for them. Looks like Paul Williams is going to be in charge of this one. One moment, just before kickoff, we're going to quickly sneeze. And we are good. Now, they have actually just mentioned that there was some afternoon rain, but no rain around now for this contest, which is good news. So you pick an Amish. I did predict the Canes, but that was only because on the podcast that I was on, the other fella picked the Chiefs. So I wanted to go different. Went for the Canes, but I could see either of these sides pulling off a win. I also believe that both sides will have quite a few tries throughout this contest. It looks like the Chiefs are going to be kicking this one off from right to left. Oh, in fact, it's going to be the Canes who have got the kickoff, and we are now underway for a New Zealand derby in Super Rugby Pacific. Sean Stevenson takes it straight off the bat and fires it into touch down towards the halfway line. I thought McMillan may have selected Rami Kapoihipi to start, been playing well. The biggest problem that the Chiefs have at the moment is they've got too much talent in the midfield. Because when you look at the guys who aren't getting the opportunity to play, I mean, Rami Kapoihipi is one of them. You've also got Daniel Rona, who did end up kind of playing more out on the wing for the sake of keeping him in the side, but he's normally more of a centre than anything else. Tuputupu gets his first line out right. Geordie Barrett looping in behind. Here goes Josh Morby. A long way off his wing, actually in the middle of the field. Perenara now looking to get this ball back to the left-hand side. Isaiah Walker-Leawiri, the last time he was in a starting lineup, the ball did not stick to his hands once. I think he dropped it about 4 times. I know, Cullen, I'm an old man. Says NZ guy. Now going back across, Ruben Love goes to Billy Proctor, just ankle tapped by Quinn Tupai, gets back up to his feet, and Damien McKenzie has to finish off the tackle. They're 25 metres out from the line at the moment here for the Hurricanes. Around the side, Braden Yorsi making a couple of metres. Perenara going to the short side. Proctor tries to step, only had Tupu on his outside. So decides against firing it out wide. Peter Lakai, little pop pass out to Braden Yorsi. Now Perenara again, back across. That's going to be a knock-on, I believe, from Tossi. And that is going to be the end of the first move from the Hurricanes. 8 phases before Tossi puts the ball down. I think the Brumbies will near the Rebels of Melbourne. Says Patrick. And also Proctor, isn't that British or Irish? Couldn't really tell. He's in the Māori All Blacks though, so he's a Kiwi. Oh, Billy Proctor. I'm pissed off that Prime TV didn't show this game. They normally do. Instead, they got Cowboys versus Tigers. Says Mana Black. And Andrew Murders was another legend. Hurricanes not to fumble the ball and give away easy points. Well, they've just done the first one of fumbling. Question is, are they also going to give away some penalties here? They've got a massive advantage when it comes to their 4-pack. Sitting with that 15 kg advantage at scrum time, which doesn't sound like a huge amount, but with these 2 scrums, I'm sure if the Hurricanes have got the feed, we will get to see that little bit of extra oomph. First scrum. Okay, referee has to have a chat to the players. I don't think we've seen a scrum go smoothly first time in any of the Super Rugby games that I can think of commentating in the last maybe 20 games. Every time it just seems to be that first reset happens. I'm already nervous, says Novmum. And go to Chiefs, says Christopher there. Looks like Amoni Narawa getting a little bit of cream on his hands, which is just like that chalky kind of stuff to make sure that you can catch the ball. Who's commentating this game? Me. But no, on the actual one, I think it's Tony Johnson and Mills Muliaina, I believe, might also be in there. It's a big scrum and too much movement. So we are going to get ourselves another scrum reset for this one. And Cowboys versus Tigers are in the NRL. Says Patrick, that is correct, yes. 3.5 minutes gone in this contest and about 1.5. Oh no, I hear Jeff Wilson. A little bit of moisture under the surface here, as just mentioned. Do you know how long Summer Penny-Finau is out for, Hamish? I heard, I'm not sure if this is correct though, but I'm sure that I heard it was until pretty much the end of Super Rugby, but I think he's all right for July internationals. Summer Penny-Finau. And if not, I mean, that opens up a massive door for someone in that 6 jersey for the ABs. Go the Hurricanes, smash and bro. Hamish always hitting the commentary into orbit, says Ruth. And now Cortez Ratama puts the ball in again for scrum time. No one budging. The Chiefs have got possession. Quintupai ball on the outside to Anton Leonard-Brown. Was hit hard by Morby, who is heading to Montpellier. In the near future, DJ Perenara trying to go around the side of the breakdown. That looked like it was almost a knock-on on the ground from the Chiefs, but they are going short side to Quintupai. Leinster versus Lose tomorrow, big game. Says Patrick, and of course the Challenge Cup taking place before that. And that is going to be the one between Gloucester and the Sharks. Now, trying to counter-ruck there, Peter Lakai. He's allowed to go for that ball, I believe, but now he's given away the penalty. Got a little bit unlucky there. Well, I'm not too sure if Manakai Selby Rickett joined that ruck from through the gate or more through the side. But the penalty does go the way of the Chiefs. They will take it at this stage of the contest. Lakai almost did all the hard work. And yeah, just ended up offside in that breakdown. But Damien McKenzie now going to be putting this ball into touch. Hurricanes blowing up Storm. Get the momentum early, please. And I know Samapenny big loss. Yeah, although he's been injured for a little while, hasn't he, old Samapenny Fee now? Now that one does go into Manakai, Selby, Rickett, Ratama, and behind him McKenzie. Flat ball to Anton Leonard-Brown. Ratama again, going off to Luke Jacobson here. He's going to look to make those meters at the moment for the Chiefs and get some phases together, as they haven't had too many of them throughout the early stages. Selby Rickett looking like he's having a waltz there with Geordie Barrett. The two of them end up getting tangled up near the side of the breakdown. Looking for the ball here. Still there for Ratama. A little chip in behind from Quintupai, cleaned up by Ruben Love, who takes a little bit of a gamble trying to get towards the touchline. Has been put under pressure by the Chiefs. And why there's so many penalties in rugby is because players can't understand the rules, says Dinesh. Not really. I think it's more of the case of the rules sometimes are a little bit like game by game they change, if that makes sense. Like there'll be certain referees who heavily look for one type of penalty, whereas other referees do not. So sometimes it's about just trying to adapt early on as well. But yeah, there's not many times that the player doesn't know the rule when they give away the penalty. It's just more they've gotten it wrong. Are you doing the rugby tonight? First final and tomorrow final? If you're talking the Challenge and Champions Cup, then we are indeed. Sometimes the referee can't understand the rules, says Drink on the Moon. Yeah, sometimes it's just down to interpretation. That is good work. Or was it? No. I think that's going to be Flanders, who just put his hand down. So the penalty does go the way of the Chiefs again here. He's a man who I mentioned needed to have a big game after being a bit lackluster in his last performance. I heard Hammy barking in his backyard the other day. Says Pads Ablaze. I don't think that would have been me. I'm not sure what I would have been barking at, unfortunately. Oh, is that head on head? Or at least shoulder on head of Tupavai. This might be Raymond Tupu in a little bit of trouble here. Yeah, we're going to see the replay of that complicating game, unlike cricket and football, says Dinesh. Yeah, although you could argue that certain rules in those two sports as well are a little bit too complicated. I mean, when you look at something like cricket in terms of the umpire's call, sometimes that gets a lot of people confused when it comes to the kind of review system. There are so many penalties in rugby because they're cheating, as told me by referee Jonathan Kaplan. Says a lollipop. They should be two good games, says Connor. So we're just seeing the potential foul play here from Raymond Tupu. He has connected shoulder to the head of Tupavai. And Morning just waking up in Ireland. Dinesh Rugby has a lot of elements, so a lot of rules come about. Says Mana. Yeah, because we've also got to remember, compared to football, like the only one who's allowed to hang on to that ball is the goalie. And you're in that situation now. They don't have breakdowns in football. So in some regards, without offending people, it is a simpler sport to get the hang of in terms of the rule set and whatnot. The offside's the one that confuses a lot of new people. That's a yellow card for Raymond Tupu. He's all happy from his start last week, and now he's going to be off the field for the next 10 minutes here. Excited for the Champions Cup final. Says Yvonne. Now he has to sit on the flimsy garden chair that they always put on the sidelines for these games. All right, Damien McKenzie, he is going to go for the 3 points. Tupavai is going to go for his HIA, which does bring Ngātoa Akoi onto the field. This is going to be the opportunity for the early 3. Now, he's only 20 points behind Richie Moonga. Yes, you beauty Chiefs by Tupu. Says Mana. And tackle lower. Says Lollipop. Although, in his case, he was a little bit unfortunate because he was only tackling what would have been around his groinal region had Tupavai not also been ducked down. So, you know, it's also one of those ones that, to a certain extent, like, there are mitigating factors. I don't think it will be a red because of how low he got. But it's whether or not they consider him having an arm wrap in that tackle. Now McKenzie to line up the kick. Oh, he's missed it. He knows he's 20 behind Richie. He probably doesn't, but he'll know he's pretty close. But that one's missed away to the side for Damien McKenzie. A rare miss for that man. And the score after 8 minutes is going to remain at 0-0 with now 9 minutes remaining of the Tupu Tupu yellow card. Come on, it's rugby, not jiggly winks. Jiggly winks sounds like a whole different activity, doesn't it? I know it's supposed to be tiddlywinks, but jiggly winks sounds like the name of an adult dating site or something like that. We have got the afternoon, the Kiwi Lads, Chiefs to win tonight. And does anyone here names Jared Willem? Not that I know of. And a man down could wake the Hurricanes up, hit the ankles rather lower. High tackles a no-no, says Ruth. That's going to be the penalty this time, going the way of the Chiefs. And Mana says stay. That's not a yellow card, says Stuart. Unfortunately, though, in the law book, the way that it says shoulder on head, they give a yellow card. There's, of course, sometimes a lack of common sense used in these scenarios, but the way that the laws are, shoulder to the head is still a yellow, sadly. In some cases, you can understand it. In some cases, it's just a bit unfortunate. Chiefy. Stay Husky. So 4 penalties already going against the Hurricanes in the first 9.5 minutes. That one's going to be nicely stolen by Xavier Numia and his Hurricane side, although there was a knock on. So that is now going to be the scrum feed for the Chiefs here. Irish Pro Hurricanes playing games, 12 points, 169 and bounce 7 in second spot after the Blues. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting finish to this season, definitely because there's still 4 sides that can finish first, theoretically. James O'Reilly, he is now onto the field. That is for Braden Yorsi, who has had to go off. If you had to go host Keith Quinn or Tony Johnson, who would you pick? I'll be honest, I don't really think I've listened to too much Keith Quinn commentary, just because I am from that, next generation, if that makes sense. So probably Tony Johnson, just because he's in there at the moment doing it. Good miss, says Stuart Moore. The Chiefs cheated. We was dropping, says Stuart Moore. And nonsense tackle lower, and Canes are used to being dirty, says Stay Hunky. Now, ball fed in by Cortez Ratama. Now off to the left-hand side, McKenzie, flat ball to Quinn Tupaia. Looking to put together a few phases with their big forwards now just outside of the 22 as Simon Parker gets them inside. And Tony Johnson is an incredible commentator. Says Mana Black. Certainly is. And he's done a lot of games as well, whether that's Super Rugby or the slightly lower level stuff. Nice run from McKenzie. Still there, Ratama with a short ball to Aidan Ross, who's tackled low by Proctor. Ratama again goes across to Simon Parker. Big chance for him. And number 6 in this game. Tupaia goes in behind to McKenzie. Flanders trying to hold him up now, has to release. And that's another penalty here against Devon Flanders. I think that's for not releasing. He's not happy, but I don't think he heard the call. Okay, so his knee was down, and then from there he ripped it away, Devon Flanders. So that's why he's been penalised. Kiwi Lads, evening to you. Just home from work. Hi, everyone. And also, Hurricanes look dangerous. Oh, here we go. Chiefs have decided, rather than going for the simplest 3 of the day, they want to go for the corner here. They've got the man advantage. They want to see whether or not the Hurricanes will give away another penalty, because if they do, they have to be extremely close to going to the bin, with the fact that they have already given away 5 penalties in only the first 12 minutes. That's pretty impressive for all the wrong reasons. Nicely claimed by Manakai Selby Rickett. Penalty this time goes the way of the Hurricanes. Well, that's quite a change in momentum. We have got there. Hi, says Levi. Welcome in, and thanks, Amish. I survived surgery, mate, from Greymouth on the iPhone. Well, that is good news, Tony. Hopefully you do recover nicely. And you're going to enjoy the rugby over the weekend. We have got there. Congrats, True Crime. Good wishes. And no, says Nov Mum there. After they gave away the penalty, Geordie Barrett looking for the touchline and is able to do so. Gets it down towards the halfway line. For the Hurricanes, they have to survive another 4 minutes without being with all their players on the field. Hamish, payday tomorrow, says a Blues, Nate. What's the first thing you're going to buy with your paycheck, Nate? I assume probably food is a good start or something along those lines. What's the snack that you go for? Oh, we got a... Oh, red card for Tupu Tupu. They've said there was no mitigation, high degree of danger. Now, I would have thought the bend at the hips, the fact that Va'i led with his head, and the fact that he only connected with him at about groin height would have been 3 decent enough mitigating factors to take that to only being a yellow. But a red at this stage of the contest is massive, and the Canes are now going to have themselves a mountain to climb. Perenara's just passed it off to Caleb Boshier. And does the ref have a house in Hamilton? Says Stuart Moore. And Bills first says Ivan. And hey, howdy, hey. Or howdy, Hamish and chat. Got us the big game. And you drunk TMO. The super card says Spider Me. But yeah, I would say, like, that one for me. Oh. Did they just say that Tupavai may have failed his HIA, so he's actually not going to be continuing? Hang on. Who's that man there sitting next to him? I think that that's actually, oh, bloody Vernon from the under-20s setup. He might be needed here if we're going to see Tupu Tupu getting a suspension for that one. Unbelievable, Arisa wrecking the game. Says Joe Webby. And Tupu Tupu has a lot of learn, young and dumb. But at the same time, like, for me, that wasn't a red. And I feel like that's one of those ones that it's going to impact the game. Hopefully not too badly, but for the next 14 minutes, the Hurricanes are going to be playing with only 14 men on the field. We have to see how that drains the gas tank as the match does end up continuing. Cortez Ratama now going back across. Damien McKenzie to Natawa Akui. Corrupt TMO says Adash. Stevenson wrestled down again. That's harsh, says Ruth. Yeah, like we've seen those given as just a penalty, or we've seen them given as yellow cards at most. I don't think I've seen one like that given at a red. I know someone mentioned the Sam Cane one, but I think Sam Cane was just a little bit more upright, wasn't he? No food damage, just more bills to pay. That is true. Oh, here comes Peter Lakai on the halfway line. No way that's a red, says Stuart. Yeah, I thought yellow at worst, to be honest, but yeah. It'll be interesting. Does that fire the Hurricanes up just that little bit more? That's red, say it, Hamish. And way to ruin the game, TMO says Fleshin. Yeah, I'd love to know what the non-mitigating factors were in terms of what about that, like, because I know he came in with a little bit of force, right? And it didn't look like there was much of an arm wrap on that side. But Tupavai running forward with his head first, like, we're going to get to a stage, if those are rare cards, the players with the hardest skulls are going to lead head first and hope that they get hit in the head by the opposition to win themselves the penalty and a red card against the other side. You know, red, this way happens, a good game goes bad. I just want to tackle that TMO and get a red card. And good opportunity for the selectors to pick some future All Blacks, says Gita. Yeah, there's plenty of them out on the field at the moment with these two sides going head to head. The Hurricanes have now got themselves opportunity. Throw this one in from just outside of the 22. Now thrown in by James O'Reilly. Nicely taken by Flanders. Hurricanes, they had a fair amount of problems throughout the season in terms of whether that's discipline, injuries. They have been able to fight through most of it. We'll see whether or not they can do that in this contest. We're 14 minutes in though, and Tino Ninasatoro has to get the exit, and that is a pretty decent boot from where he was. He was dropping and looking at the Hurricanes play as he dropped. And I believe it's time to get rid of the red card and keep the yellow. At least yellow the player can get back on after 10. It's just more of the case of some things, of course, are worth reds, but then others aren't. And then they are the ones that normally hurt the spectacle, if that makes sense. And now James O'Reilly. Throw this one in again for the Hurricanes. Nicely claimed by Devon Flanders. Lakai off the back of the maul. Going now. Good shot on Barrett by Jacobson. Proctor has got his knee down. The ball is there. Pernada goes to Flanders. That was a forward pass to Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. Probably only went forward by 1.5 meters, which is still forward. Speed is the TMO. Woof, woof, says a dash there. He's currently in America, isn't he? On speed back from South Korea, I believe he was. Are you an activist or left wing? What's up with the gun? Says, that's a great run from Numia. He's over and he scores the try. What a try that is as well for Xavier Numia. Scores the first one of the contest. The big man. He just kept going. I thought he was going to get dragged down about 10 metres out from the line, but he said, nah, that's not happening. I'm just going to keep on going forward and get myself a try. And that's exactly what he's been able to do there, Xavier Numia. Just space for days. Runs are hard. I mentioned about him earlier on in the contest as well. The way that he is able to run that ball is definitely AB's material. And the stepping as well from the big man. It's a thing of blue. I almost said bluety, but that's not a word. Beauty, of course. That's what that try was. What a try. AB's call up for Xavier for sure. Says Blues Nate. He's got to be in the running, doesn't he? The way that he's been playing. And the thing is as well, he's still extremely strong when it comes to his, scrummaging. Normally when you see a really good ball runner in a front row, normally their scrummaging's not quite the same standard, but he's got a bit of both. Him and Lomax, I think, could be a really good combo. We can make that the Blues saying, says James. That is true. Of course, Blues up against the Crusaders tomorrow, another New Zealand derby, but that one has gone over. And up against it, the Canes have shown why they have been such a dangerous side this year, and they are now leading this game at FMG 7-0. AB's call up for Xavier for sure. And also, we have got there Toss of Canes, and Gary was supposed to miss, says Novmum. He got that one, Brett Cameron. Didn't do the Damien McKenzie in that case. Right, Tupavai has returned out onto the field, so Nato Akoi will make his way off. And it looks like Ruben Love was getting a bit of medical attention on his right leg. Nicely taken. Proctor. Tell you what, he's sent that one far. And yes, gained more, please, says Scott. And also tell me the score when it's full time, says Stewart. And also, that's quick response and good one, Hurricanes, from Ruth. Yedai tackle, yellow for Sean Stevenson, says Stuart Moore. So now Samasoni Tolkiaho going to have himself the line-out throw. I should also mention, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone wondering what games we are doing over the weekend, we have got tomorrow morning in about 12 hours' time, in fact, a little bit less than that. It is going to be the game between the Sharks and Gloucester for the Challenge Cup final. Then for Super Rugby, we are covering Blues versus Crusaders, as well as the game. In fact, that's the only one tomorrow that we are covering of Super Rugby. We are missing the first game and the third. And then we are also doing the Leinster versus Toulouse Champions Cup final alongside the game on Sunday between the Fijian Draw and the Highlanders. Now, there might be a change. We might end up covering one other game tomorrow for Super Rugby, but the main one we are covering is Crusaders versus Blues for that one, and then Draw versus Highlanders on Sunday. That one's going to be kicked into touch by Geordie Barrett after the penalty is won. When Tupai ended up taking Ruben Love out in the air. That will not help the injury that Love has got for himself at the moment. And greetings from a Kiwi in Thailand, Kane supporting family here. Says 993 RS Phil, welcome in, mate. James O'Reilly. They actually mentioned it in the commentary there. It seems like the card has actually fired up the Hurricanes in this game. Crusaders need Iron Man in their team. Says Roof, but that one's going to be thrown in. Nicely taken by Flanders. Now Perenata goes across to Barrett. Peter Lakai looking to bulldoze his way towards the try line. Now another offload from Perenata goes to Sangster. Oh, he's knocked that one on though, TJ. It's going to be another penalty though this time. Taken quickly by the Hurricanes. Here comes Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. Cross now. Cameron goes to Ruben Love. He's got Kenny Naholo. His knee's bad. Ruben Love, he was trying to run there and it pretty much gave way. They put all the strapping on it, but I don't think he's going to continue in this game now. They've got another penalty advantage. Ruben Love is back on his feet, but he does not look like he can do any more than a jog here. Ross is going to be penalised for not rolling away. Right. High tackle penalty against the Chiefs. Okay, TJ's pretty much been told now to stop asking all his questions that he has been asking, which is a lot of them, fun fact. And like I've just said, there's a bit of a calmness about the way that the Hurricanes are attacking at the moment. They don't seem like they're too flustered about the fact that they have one less man on the field. Game over, and Satyrs need the W. That was from, where was it? That was from Nate. I need another loss going into the quarterfinals and carry on the Blues. Says Nate, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. See how that one goes. Fijian draw all the way. Is it 5-0 or 7-0? It is currently 7. Oh, there we go. It has just updated itself up to 24 minutes as well. Our Hurricanes sitting 10 metres out from the line. Nicely thrown into Justin Sangster, who takes it well. And there's already another penalty advantage in favour of the Hurricanes here. What have I missed, says Riley? So you missed a red card to Tupu Tupu. And then alongside that, we've seen the try from the Hurricanes of Xavier Numia. It's one of the best tries that we've seen scored by a number one throughout this Super Rugby season. Now Perenara almost with a bounce pass there. Kanina Holo trying to step. He's just been ankle tapped though by Atino Nanasitoro. Now Perenara, he's dropped the ball again. And he wants the yellow card. He's fired up, TJ. And who's it going to be? I think it's going to be Caleb Moshier, who goes to the bin now with this yellow card. Riley Higgins, if he's there, says, John, what happened for the red card? So Tupu Tupu was ducking down. He made contact with Tupavai's head while leading with the shoulder. Vai was at about, like, kind of, I'd say, groin height. He was leading with his head as well, so I thought it was only going to be a yellow, but they ended up saying it was a red in that case. Oh, okay. They're going for the scrum here. It's an interesting one. Interesting choice for them in this game. You wonder who will be off the back. I think it would almost be Peter Lakai, who plays that number 8 role, while Braden Yorsi is still not on the field. G Chiefs, what the ever you doing? Says Novmum. And hello, says PSG. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that TJ is going to say something soon that gets him in a bit of trouble from the referee. If that's a yellow, then no one should complain about the red. Says Lollipop, but there is a clear difference sometimes between a yellow and a red. Like, normally it's based on the mitigation, and I feel like there were clear signs of evidence that it should have been just as a yellow because of the lack of danger, at least I thought anyway. And the more dangerous thing was the fact that Vai was leading with his head going into the challenge. But that is a big push. Peter Lakai takes it off the back, goes to the right-hand side. Now Ruben Love, Waikato past to Morby, lined up early by Stevenson. Now Perenara again going across. It's going to be a drop ball from Sangster. He was a little bit the same as Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. Wasn't able to hang on to the ball very often. TJ having a chat with Tupa Vai there. I don't know what Vai said, but it's fired up TJ even more than he already was. Right, I think that the referee's getting sick of this. Paul Williams has got Geordie Barrett over again, saying, can you please control your chihuahua, or else we're going to have some problems. But yeah, I think it was the big shot. Oh, okay. I can see why there was a little bit of argy-bargy afterwards. We saw Jacobson put the shot on Perenara and then someone dropped a shoulder on Jacobson's head. So that's probably why he wasn't too happy. TJ got a chill, says PSG. And see more off ref says, says Stuart. Yeah, at the moment we got 14 on 14. And to be honest, I don't think it's going to be the last one that we see of this game of players getting sent off. TJ shush please, says Daryl. And I feel like that's probably what Geordie Barrett's thinking as well. Right, it's gone from 5-0 in penalty count against the Hurricanes to the last 6 penalties going against the Chiefs. That is now a free kick, though, to the Chiefs. So I think that they might just decide to take this one and kick it into touch here rather than risking too much more. Like they've just said, 6-5 at the moment on Cam Miller on Sunday. Says PSG, that's going to be a big hit for the Highlanders. I think that's due to his concussion, isn't it? And Heaney said, let's go the Chiefs. And TJ thinks his Patu is bigger than Chiefs Patu, says Nate. And TJ running right, snapping at those ankles. Says Ruth. Now line out throw for the Hurricanes here with James O'Reilly. Didn't expect to be out on the field this early for that man due to the fact that, they had to make the early change with the red card, which only has 8 seconds remaining. Then the Hurricanes will be back to 15, which will bring Braden Yorsi back out there. Barrett with the inside ball. I think that was knocked on by Tossi again. In fact, it may have hit him in the chest. So it is going to be play on now. Out wide, Kitty Naholo trying to get rid of Amoni Narawa as he drives his legs and is wrestled into touch there by the Chiefs. Or is he? It looks like that ball hasn't come out of the breakdown. Stevenson's on it. Became a maul. And that is now going to be the scrum feed for the Chiefs. Chiefs are bad, too dumb, game over. Not winning this one, says Mana Black. Chiefs will score try soon, says him. So who's your prediction of the next try scorer? Ladies and gentlemen, do let me know in the chat. We'll see who gets closest. I have no idea, to be honest. I feel like the Chiefs are due for a try, but then at the same time, ever since the Hurricanes had that red card, they actually have looked like the better side out there on the field, and now it's the Chiefs' discipline that has let them down, and they are playing against 14 men. Now the Hurricanes, with their 15 men back out onto the field. Braden Yorsi, he's got 9 tries throughout his career. He's had a fantastic season so far as Geordie captain. I always thought he would make a good one. He is indeed for this one. Cortez Ratama put this ball in here for the Chiefs as it's sold out. It looks pretty close to it. I'm not seeing too many empty seats other than the ones probably going to get some hot chips, as it's a bit of a chilly evening in the Waikato. And Barrett next try. Probably a fair shout. So I'll go Quinn Tupaia next try. I'll go the other 12 for the other team just to make it a little bit interesting. Geordie Barrett now looking for the torpedo kick. Well taken by Stevenson on their 22 here. The Chiefs looking to kick it downfield. Getting used by living at Christchurch. There's Ivan. Now Ruben Love goes for the kick in behind again. Well taken at the back by Tino Nanasatoro, who's got a massive amount of strapping on their left leg. McKenzie was chasing after it. Couldn't quite get to it in time though. So Morby manages to take it out. James is back in TJ to score the next try. Tossi hanging on to that one now. Xavier Numia. Offload to Tossi again. It's the 2 props at the moment for the Hurricanes. And speaking of the front row, there's James O'Reilly out wide. Stevenson does make the tackle though. Tossi short ball to Isaiah Wakaliawiri. They continue to make the meters here. The Hurricanes 30 minutes in to the contest. They've got space. Morby goes to Braden Yorsi. Gets his kick in behind there. Geordie Barrett chasing after it. Narawa forces it down. Who would you bring back from the dead? Sing at your barbecue? I don't really have many barbecues, so I probably, I could just get some local or just a random person, really. I wouldn't mind too much. Barbecue normally only goes as long as the food's cooking and then it's kind of done, isn't it? At least when it's around these parts. To be fair, the Chiefs' defence has been pretty good as well. It has. It could have easily leaked 1 or 2 extra tries. And it hasn't. So that is a big bonus for them as well. Now, Billy Proctor taking the ball 22 metres out for the line off the 22, or the goal line dropout, I should say. Great attack and run from him. 10 metres out. TJ Perenara tries to spin Quinton Tupaia. Does shut him down early. Back across to Tossi. Looking for another try here. The Hurricanes still in the first half as well. Looping around. Beautiful inside ball to Kenny Naholo. They've done brilliantly to shut him down though in recent times. Now Braden Yorsi gets the pass to Morby, who reaches out. And he's in touch. He thought he scored it, but he's told very swiftly, no you didn't. Meat Boy, he's the best barbecue singer. And next try scorer for the Hurricanes will be their number 5, Kia ora, Hamish. As always, checking in from Brisbane. How are you, mate? Stressful day here, Auckland for life. Says James, doing very well. Hope you are also doing all right after your stressful day. Hopefully the rugby lets you de-stress a little bit. Thrown over the top and well cleaned up by Jacobson. 10 metres out from their own line at the moment, the Chiefs. Throughout this last maybe 15 minutes, territory has got to be about 90% in favour of the Canes. Just eyed your bikes. or just got to hide your bikes, says James there. Lomu. Oh, it was close for Morby. I think he just backed himself a little bit too much. Maybe a ball on the inside might have been the better plan there for the man destined for Montpellier at the moment. He has got himself 20 clean breaks throughout the season, only one behind Sevu Reece, who has 21 and is the leader in the clean breaks statistic. I'm getting annoyed. Chiefs better score soon, says Novmum. Now James O'Reilly about to throw this one in, beautifully taken by Devon Flanders. Lakai off the back goes Braden Yorsey, inside ball to Morby. There goes Geordie Barrett, and he will score the try for the Canes. We're just gonna very quickly, where is it? There you go. Shout out to you, Daryl. You called it perfectly. Geordie Barrett got that inside ball and was through a gap that was way too big for the Chiefs' liking. Probably the gap where Quintupaya maybe was supposed to be. Who lets this go? Oh, yeah, that's just a really good ball from Braden Yorsey on the inside. And then the Canes go in. The no-look pass to Morby then goes off to Geordie Barrett to finish the job. And Dad is going home now to take a nap, so I'll call him later, says Foster. And also, Meatloaf is dead. Oh, what about Funky Ducks or Stray Cats? Our Wild's home game on Sunday, says Stay Unky there. Now, Brett Cameron, another opportunity here to be able to line up some more points. And that is now going to make the score 14-0 in favour of the Hurricanes, who were playing with their red card earlier on in the contest. Scott Robinson, if you're watching in the chat, Proctor for the All Blacks. I don't think he'll be watching this chat. I'd say he's probably looking definitely at this game. Do I get an assist? As I said, Yossi to score next. Unfortunately, Yossi passed it to Morby, then Morby passed it to Barrett. So you'd have an assist of an assist in that case. Proctor back across now to Braden Yossi, who runs it high and hard. Dragged down eventually by George Dyer on the 22. Now Barrett, another torpedo. Kick downfield, well handled by Damien McKenzie. Let's go for the kick up high of his own. Chasing after that was Stevenson. And tell you what, Tossi has taken that one very cleanly for a man who didn't look like he was in any position to be able to catch that ball. Me at barbecue. His agent's going to pick Proctor, says Ivan. Now Barrett on the outside. Love. Skip past to James O'Reilly. There's just an acre of space at the moment that the Hurricanes are using to their advantage. Now, of course, they did have the man advantage to be able to make the most of there. And Proctor, brilliant. Geordie, excellent. Hurricanes rolling it back. Now Barrett goes off to Ruben Love. And every pass is just sticking at the moment for the Hurricanes. Barrett goes short to Kini Naholo. Tries the double man step. Come on, Canes, keep going. A centre position go to Geordie Barrett and Proctor. Quinny and Anton Leonard Brown for Razor, says Blues Nate. Still there. Perenara goes back to Fergus Burke. Jason after this one, I believe it is Josh Morby. Well-weighted kick from Brett Cameron just outside of the 22. Tino Nana Satoro is dragged down. Now short side, Quintupaya. Not a lot to work with. Ratama has to join the breakdown alongside McKenzie. Makes you wonder where the big forwards are for the Chiefs. Now Samasoni Taukiaho. Rolling this ball back. There's also a little bit of rain falling, I believe they mentioned just before. It's going to be kicked high from Cortez Ratama. Well taken from Ruben Love. That'll test out his knee as he had to put all of his weight on it when landing. Yossi bumps off Kalen Boshier. There are a lot of players at the moment throughout this game trying to step up and put their name in the hat for the ABs. There's one of them. Billy Proctor breaks the line. Wide cutout pass to James O'Reilly, who is dragged down by Amoni Narawa, who's lost his footing and given away the penalty advantage. Perenada, though, keeps the ball alive, gets it away to Lakai. And Barrett in the midfield makes me nervous, says Fluffy. Hurricanes are playing well, says Lollipop now in behind. Ruben Love looking for the cross kick. Out wide to Devon Flanders, who needed to look for that next offload. Wasn't able to, well protected in the breakdown there. Sangster comes in as that second line of protection. Now Cameron, cross to Ruben Love. Barrett puts the grubber in behind O'Reilly's putting the foot down. Nuttall smashed there. They had the advantage. Now, this might be the case of the Hurricanes opting to go for the scrum here rather than going for the corner. I feel like their scrum will be just as effective from 5 metres out. But Ruben Love taking it very well under the high ball. His right knee heavily strapped from earlier on in the game. But the Canes are just going for it at the moment in this contest. And the Chiefs, like, they have found themselves having to retreat many times. Oh no, they're kicking for the corner here. So it is going to be a 5 metre line out now for the Hurricanes. James O'Reilly, now to his credit, or I'm going to jinx this. Oh well, we'll do it anyway. James O'Reilly, to his credit, accuracy in terms of lineouts a lot higher than Tupu Tupu, who was red carded earlier on in the contest. So I feel like this one has more likeliness of sticking for the Canes, which is probably going to be the perfect example of a commentator's curse right there. James O'Reilly about to throw it in. Can he get it right here for the Hurricanes? It is well taken by Devon Flanders. And now they look for the rolling maul. They've been told to use it once already. So it's not making a huge amount of meters here for them. Perenara has got it available. 3 players all looping around the outside. There's Ruben Love. Good tackle made on him. Back up to his feet. He's dropped the ball and he's also hurt that knee again. Kick downfield. Chasing hard, Sean Stevenson, but Barrett is there and he will send it as high as he can, although actually going for that little chip in behind, possibly taken out a little bit late by Manakai Selby-Rickett, much to the crowd's disgust. Now close to the touchline, they're going back for it, and it's going to be the penalty against Isaiah Walker, against Manakai Selby-Rickett for the cheap shot on Barrett. I'm noticing that the hookers are standing on the line and over it sometimes. It's no getting called. Says Lollipop. Now, a lot of them do it. Oh, no, that's against Sean Stevenson, I believe, for actually offside in that case. And Kane's going to puff out and choke in the second half. Tell you what, they'll have to do it soon because at the moment, this first half, it went from the first 10 minutes being all Chiefs. 5 penalties against the Hurricanes to now probably about 8 against, where is it? Here it is. Oh, yeah, it was Sean Stevenson, not Manakai Selby-Rickett, who changed his line to take him out. Stevenson disappointed. Discipline's going to have to be important in the second half, and the Chiefs at the moment have not got it. Suddenly they're broken out of that prison, running free Hurricanes. Says Ruth. Geordie Barrett, he's actually going to take on this shot from about 55 metres out, I would say, and the rain is starting. Oh, Geordie Barrett just wanting to know how much time he's got, but the siren has sounded. Now Geordie Barrett strikes it well, keeps it flat, keeps it low, it's hit the post, and come back out. Tupaia will kick it into touch, and that'll be halftime now, 14 points to 0. Right, Geordie Barrett, he's got his hands out like that, going towards the sideline. Okay, I'm not sure what was said there, but I think someone told Geordie Barrett something like there was still going to be time on the clock. So that was the reason Geordie Barrett took so long rather than just taking the shot. All the penalties so far been deserved. Players cheating and doing wrong thing. Says Lollipop and Intense. And Chief's going to get a good talking to in the sheds. Says Nobum. Yeah, Clayton McMillan before the game, he was talking about how, of course, 3 games are important. That is, of course, the quarters, the semi, and the final. But this game was one that the Chiefs came in as favourites, and now they find themselves 14-0 down at half-time. Certainly not the start to the contest that they would have been after. But the good news is rugby is a game of 80 minutes, and they've got the opportunity now, 40 minutes left. They do come in as $5.25 underdogs, I have just seen. I have to wait and see how the second half is affected. But looking at the reserves in this contest, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, for the Chiefs, we do get to see Tyrone Thompson, Jared Profit, as well as Ahio as the number 18. Akoi has already briefly been onto the field. That was due to Tupava'i getting the HIA. Wallace Satiti with Tahuri Rangi at 21, Ioane at 22, and Ramika Poihipi again as the opportunity at number 23 for the Hurricanes. We've already seen a lot of James O'Reilly. That is due to the yellow turned into a red for Tupu Tupu. Pauri Rakiti Stones and Tavita Mafaleo still to make their way off that bench, with Caleb Delaney, TK Howden as the other two forward replacements, and Richard Judd, Peter Umanga Jensen, and Salisi Reasi as the back replacements. But this game's been a bit of a fun one so far in terms of the back and forth. It started off really well for the Chiefs. Second half going to be good, says Adam. And yeah, I am curious what you guys think. Do you believe that the Chiefs can come back into this game? Do you think they've got a chance? Like, for me, I think that they've got the potential of being able to score the first try in the second half. I think that to a certain extent, though, they're going to have to do it relatively quickly. I think that we probably haven't seen enough of Taukiaho with the ball in hand, but that is mainly because we just haven't seen the ball in hand of the side, unfortunately, for the Chiefs. Looking at some of the possession stats, we all get the stats up right now, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, super. Oops. Yep, got it that time. Chiefs still got a sniff. Yeah, they do. Like, 14 points does sound like a lot. But if they score within the first 10 minutes and make it 7-14, then it's definitely anyone's game in this contest. And Canes will win, says Scott Dawson. But match stats in this one, just in terms of the possession, 64% in favour of the Hurricanes in this contest. A majority of this game has been played inside of the Chiefs' half. And to their credit, they have only conceded 2 tries. Could have been a lot more with the amount that we have seen the Hurricanes attack throughout this game, including but not limited to 250 metres carried. They have beaten 11 defenders. They have had 3 clean breaks. They have made a few offloads. They have also managed to get 8 turnovers in their favour, and that penalty count starting to really creep up against the Chiefs. They have given away 8 penalties, including a yellow card near the end of the half. We have got Blues came back to beat the Canes. Chiefs have the ability. Says James exactly right. Like, 2 halves of rugby can be completely different. And the Chiefs will go into the sheds going, right, that was a mistake that first half. We had the man advantage. We didn't make the most of it. So, like, it's going to have to be one of those situations that they go out and they muscle up early on. And they've got the players to do so. Like, their starting lineup, I think we need to see a bit more of Boshier since he's now coming back from the bin. Jacobson's there. Parker at 6, I think, has actually not been too bad. We've probably seen him touch the ball the most out of that loose forward trio. Chiefs got a game plan. We will see it unfold in the next half, in my opinion. Yeah, although I do not think the game plan involved conceding 2 tries in that first half. I think that they'll have some sort of tactic that they want to use in that second half to try and improve and try and get back into this contest. But yeah, I don't think it would have been in their plans to have to make as many tackles as they did. Like, just for that first half, they did have to make 67. They missed 11, but a lot of the drainingness from that first half was from just chasing the Hurricanes when they were all over the field. If the Hurricanes score first and second half, it's going to be hard for the Chiefs to come back. Have you had absolute energy round your way to check your insulation and your ceiling? We have not, no. Not that I know of anyway. And Blues came back to beat the Canes. Oh, catch the Colonels on. I'll tell you what. Okay. I think a bloke in gumboots just tried to catch the Colonel. He did go extremely quickly, the Colonel, that time, though. Pretty unlucky. What's wrong with the Chiefs? They used to be good, says Buddy. I mean, they are still good. They just had a bit of an off half, that's all. They were close to scoring earlier on. They opted to not take on the 3 points at an earlier stage after that first miss from Damien McKenzie. So, for the first time in a while, we have actually seen the Chiefs not score any points throughout a first half, which is, it's a unique one. And now they get the chance to be able to fire back in the second half. But looking through at what is next for these two sides. Fun fact, we've got 2 more New Zealand derbies next week. The Blues taking on the Chiefs on Saturday, and then also on Saturday, which apparently the difference between these 2 games is 8 days and 7, but they are taking place on the same day. Hurricanes versus Highlanders, that is going to be the afternoon game We are, of course, going to be covering both of those ones on the channel. Just in terms of what is coming up for this weekend in Super Rugby. Tomorrow, the big main event is definitely that 7:05 game. Crusaders versus Blues is taking place in Christchurch. We are going to be covering that one on the channel. I believe that is the only Super Rugby game out of those three that we are going to be doing tomorrow. But we have got Highlanders versus Fiji and Drua taking place in the afternoon, 2:05 p.m. New Zealand time on that one. But the way that the table sits at the moment, the Hurricanes are in second. If they win this game and they can score themselves one more try here, they would theoretically be sitting in a position to get themselves the 5 points from this contest. And they'll move up to number one. Even just a win here would move them up to number one with the way that it currently sits. We have got the Hurricanes 11 defenders beaten. Says Nate, yeah, they've been busting through that line quite often. And both sides, to their credit, their lineouts have been strong. They haven't really given away the ball too much, which is something over the last couple weeks we've seen a lot of throughout Super Rugby. You're actually almost better off not having to put in some of those games last week because of how often they did lose the ball. We have got there, totally agree. And games being played through the middle. That's where the battle is leading up to the finals. Says a Mr. All In and should take point on offer. Any game can win by 1 point. Says Spider Mech there as well. But red-carded earlier on in this contest, Raymond Tupu went off in about that maybe 10th minute, somewhere around there. The Chiefs, I think that their discipline just out from their line has been pretty decent, but if they do concede a couple extra penalties, could find themselves with a man going to the bin, and that is the last thing that they need in this game. Currently, the players for the Hurricanes, it looks like they are wearing a few blankets. Looks like you've actually got maybe designated blanket buddies for the Hurricanes there. I think it was Ruben Love in the blanket, or it might have been actually Brett Cameron alongside Kenny Naholo. Barrett got his own blanket. He must be in the superior role where he's allowed to have his own one. Should take a point on offer. Any game can win by 1 point. And I am sitting in my lab marking final examinations and writing reports. Thanks for the commentary, a welcome background addition to this otherwise long, boring task. Says Joss there. Well, hopefully it does fly by for you, of course. I feel like chemistry was never my forte, so half the stuff you're reading, I probably won't have any idea what it is. I can only name a few things on the periodic table, and that was about it for the chemistry side of things. Couldn't tell you how many, what is it? How many neurons? Is it neurons? No. How many of the thingies? You know, the thingies with the bubbles? You know what I'm talking about, Joss, since you're a chemistry teacher. Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many protons and neutrons, or whatever it's called, are in each of them. We have got there, what do you think of Jacobson as captain? I mean, he looks like an alright captain for the Chiefs throughout the season. He's stepped up. At times, he gets a little bit of that dog in him, and then it's a bit hard to see him leading from the front at times, but overall, he does a decent job. The bubble thingies. Says, lovey and hi, hope everyone is well. Says, it's Simran, welcome in. My sister and her husband from Wellington at the game. My brother and his wife from Taupo thinks my sister might be a Hurricanes supporter. Says Nov Mum. And also, hi Hamish, says Ilma. I hope you are also doing well. This is a junior science that I'm marking. Simple science. Some quite humorous answers. The thing is, you say simple science, right? I bet you I would still not get all of the questions correct in a situation. That could be a video idea, maybe. Me and George try and do chemistry. Because I don't think George was great with the sciences either, to be honest, back at school. I think he much preferred playing with wood in the wood tech department. Of course, the actual, timber I am talking. Second half, not too far away, ladies and gentlemen, from getting underway. I think that's someone who stepped up in the first half for the Hurricanes, not only is Xavier Numia, also we saw quite a bit of Billy Proctor and Geordie Barrett. That midfield combo does seem like a extremely handy one, and of course only a few weeks away from the All Blacks being selected. You definitely want to put your best foot forward at this stage of the year. And for the Chiefs, in terms of who's stepped up, I mean, we saw a little bit of Quintupai earlier on in the game. Stevenson's disciplines let him down a little bit, and then, I mean, I'd probably say the best of them was probably Ratama, I guess you could say. Tino Satoro didn't really do too much wrong, but no one's really had the ball a huge amount. So Simon Parker would almost be the guy who's done the best. Woodtick, pretty sure that's a science experiment. Says Fluffy and Artie should be AB's Captain Hammy. Says Spider Mech. And there was a nice save. Or what were you thinking of? No, I knew that people in the chat normally have dirty minds, so I had to clarify just in case. But I think the second half, in fact, we're going to take a little bit of a tally, ladies and gentlemen. Please, in the chat, write a number between 1 and 10 of how many tries you think are going to be scored in the second half. Now, if there's 10 or more, then, you know, defense doesn't exist. But, yeah, between like 1 and 6, 1 and 7, somewhere around there, a number, how many tries do you believe there will be in the second half? I am going to go straight off the bat and say 4. We're going to put that one in there. Do you not like playing with the wood too? Depends. I wasn't the best at wood tech, believe it or not, which is a bit ironic. But I remember putting like 25 nails into a desk study that we had to make, and it still looked like it was going to fall apart. 7 tries. Says Blues Nate there. Oh, we've got 4 different numbers at the moment. 3. Okay, now we've got to double up, but that's all right. I was doing great commentary, just having hot coffee. But yeah, whoever gets it right, we're going to put the name up on the screen at the end. So anyone who does want that opportunity of getting your name up, be sure to let us know how many tries we're going to see in the second half. Fluffy said 0. I hope that you're wrong, Fluffy, only because that would be quite sad, wouldn't it? Hurricanes are going to pull away second half, says Ruth there. 5, says Elmar. A quick try, says Ruth, for the Hurricanes. I see that no one's backed 1 and no one's backed... Oh, there we go. Daryl's backed 2. 2 tries to the Hurricanes and 2, which comes to 4, and the Canes will win. I'll tell you what. I believe you, Daryl, because you actually got the original prediction of Geordie Barrett scoring the next try correct. So, for that very reason, I think you might be on to something. 4 or 5. 3 tries, says Simran there. I would go 4, but it depends on these bloody refs and their decisions. 6, says Spider. 3, says Shane. Okay, so the most common numbers seem to be 3 and 5. Sounds like the Chiefs back line are hopefully saving themselves for the next half. Then back through the forwards. Old Waikato game plan, says Adam. Yeah, I think that the 11 missed tackles will be something that slightly concerns the Chiefs. But overall, their defence just out from their line has been pretty strong. And I hope so. I hope you are doing well. 2 for the Hurricanes, 5 for the Chiefs equals 7 lol. And Hurricanes 4, Chiefs 3 equals 7. Right, they are just talking to the Chiefs assistant coach at the moment, asking David Hill why they stopped scoring points, or at least stopped getting the opportunities to score points throughout that first half. Barrett and Numia, the 2 try scorers that we have seen so far, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Damian McKenzie has got a bit of a black eye at the moment. Might have taken a bit of a shot. 3, says John. And there as well. And also we have got there, I hope so. Are the Canes still down to 14 men? They are not. They're actually back out to 15 now. And so are the Chiefs, because they also had 14 on the field for a bit of time. Right, so Tupu Tupu is the only sub that we have seen. That is James O'Reilly, but it wasn't really a sub. It was a rear guard. Brandon Yossi being shown on the big screen. At the moment, he is just singing along to the tunes that they are playing at FMG Stadium, looking extremely calm at this stage of the match. But it's kicked off now, high from Ruben Love, and nicely claimed by Isaiah Walker-Leawitty. They have to try and use their territory here, the Chiefs. Try and trap the Hurricanes inside of the half, similar to what we saw in the last half. Why did you copy me, Blues? Says Nuz Williams. Now Sean Stevenson on the halfway line. Dragged down. Manakai Selby, Rickett, McKenzie, and behind Quinto Pai, quick hands from Matino Nana Satoro. Now Amoni Narawa goes to Anton Leonard Brown, backs himself in the corner, inside ball to Amoni Narawa, and they score within 40 seconds there, the Chiefs. That's one way of doing it. Straight away, they've said, you know what, that first half didn't go to plan, we might as well change it and get ourselves the try straight from the get-go. Unfair 15 against 15. How the red card says Spider Mick. And great minds think alike, eh? And that was just great passing from the Chiefs. McKenzie got the pop up to Quintupai. Quick hands from Tino Nanasatoro. And then Narawa went out to Leonard Brown. Ball back. Oh, it was flat, but I think it's going to be all right. And like they've just said, if you relax against a backline like the Chiefs, you do end up paying for it. Yours could be right though, Nuz. Says Blues Nate. I think D-Mac ran into someone's fist. McKenzie has got that one over. And the score now, ladies and gentlemen, 7 points to 14. Now, I did say if the Chiefs scored within the first 10 minutes, they'd be back into this contest. They scored within the first 60 seconds. And that is the 9th now of the season for Ramoni Narawa, tying with Hoskins Satutu in second, behind Sever Reese, who is still in first, and Hurricanes will win, says Leighton there. Tino Nanasatoro back inside of their own 22. I'll play the lotto if it is Blues, says Naz Williams. Now Samasoni Tau Kiaho gets a few extra metres there. Zai Walker-Leawiri trying to drag him down. He's got it about 30 metres out from their line now, the Chiefs. McKenzie rushed with that kick. Well cleaned up at the back from Ruben Love 3, says Moa Hunters for his prediction. And firm talk from the boss, says Spider Mech. Now Stevenson, great kick downfield. And that's going to be about maybe 35 metres out from their line now, the Hurricanes. The Chiefs playing the territory game very well early on in this half. Just for anyone wondering in terms of odds and whatnot, the way that it currently sits, the Chiefs are $2.70 underdogs now, so they're pretty much half their odds because they half the deficit that they were behind by. James O'Reilly gets it in. Peter Lakai has to try and jump onto that one. I think Kalen Boshier may have knocked that ball on. 3 tries. That's going to become the penalty now. Trying to play the ball on the ground against Kalen Boshier. And Stuart says stay hunky. And Chiefs got a good telling off in that locker room. Yeah, I think that's made a big difference. Just having that little bit of a break. How many All Blacks play in Europe? Quite a few, although normally when you play in Europe, depending on the competition, sometimes you aren't eligible. I know that someone like Alesta Whainaunuku, who is an ex-All Black, is now no longer available to play for the ABs. Yeah, they're just showing it again in terms of the way that Amoni Narawa just wrong-footing Ruben Love, whose knee is still giving him troubles. But it seems like the Hurricanes don't want to take him off, which is a bit of a risk and reward situation. I know that this game is extremely important for their season, but at the same time, that's an awkward bounce. Samasoni Taukeiaho, after a stolen line out from the Chiefs, does not quite get that ball, as it just pretty much set up perfectly for the Canes to be able to get it back. Now Billy Proctor flat runs straight at Damian McKenzie. Jacobson, well-timed tackle on TJ Perenara. Flanders with the ball on the outside to Justin Sangster. Hurricanes back inside now of the Chiefs territory. Nurmia with the pop pass up. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Jacobson going for the counter ruck for the Chiefs. I believe they've been able to claim it as well. It's Samasoni Taukeiaho who has popped out with the ball. But Perenara takes it back now for the Hurricanes. Sangster gets in there. Narawa staying extremely low, trying not to get cleaned out. Peter Lakai, cheap shot on him by Aidan Ross in his back. Proctor looking to bust through. Just dragged down by Anton Leonard Brown. 2 men who are possibly fighting for that same jersey. Morby kicks it in behind. McKenzie, he's 5 metres out from his own try line here. And skies it into touch about 27 or 28 metres out from their line now, the Chiefs. But this is certainly a quicker pace than we saw in that first half. And the Chiefs also, and interesting to South Africa also have the same policy regarding Super Rugby. I haven't seen any, says Katsanel. Well, they aren't in Super Rugby, but I assume you're talking regarding the URC. But no, pretty much, if you're playing overseas as a South African, you are eligible to still be selected for the Springboks, whether that's in France, Japan, or anywhere. Now that ball's bobbling around. That's another knock on from Kalen Boshier, whose hands have let him down a little bit throughout this game so far. Now Geordie Barrett trying to find a gap, wrestled down by Tupavai on the halfway line, and they'll go back for the original penalty. Canes will choke, relax crowd. And let's go Canes, let's score next, says Daryl. Should mention, ladies and gentlemen, we've got plenty more action coming throughout this weekend in terms of Super Rugby. Tomorrow, we are covering the Blues taking on the Crusaders. That is a big derby that you all get to see between two New Zealand sides. Also, we are covering the Challenge Cup tomorrow morning. That is at 7 a.m. New Zealand time. So be sure to keep an eye out for that one. 46 and a half minutes in. We're going to get to see another scrum. We haven't actually seen too many scrums throughout this contest, not since those early scrum penalties and early free kicks going against both teams. Feel sorry for the Satyrs tomorrow, Hammy, says Spider-Man. I wouldn't feel sorry for them yet. I'd wait till after the game if they lose it. Because I've talked to a lot of Blues supporters this week, and they are still nervous about that game, and they feel like if any side was going to try and ruin their hopes of a playoff, or at least having momentum heading into it, it would be the Crusaders. And Jordan's marked, cannot be allowed to run. Says Adam there. Jordan. We talking like Geordie Barrett, or are you talking Will Jordan, Adam? Now Stevenson running onto it. Almost makes his way through. And the penalty is won by Kini Naholo. Satyrs will deliver, says Stay Hunky. And also the Chiefs will go score a try soon. And also we have got their fast-paced game, says Roof. But it looks like Geordie Barrett now. Ready to kick this one into Tachimoni Narua. Disappointed with that one. He was a little bit isolated, didn't have any forwards with him, which I have actually mentioned few times throughout this one, the fact that the Chiefs don't seem to have forwards ready to get into those breakdowns. And I don't know whether or not it's just because they are playing so wide. Barrett, mate, says Adam. See, I got confused when you called him Jordan. I feel like probably, I guess his family might call him Jordan. If he's probably been Geordie his whole life, hasn't he? But yeah, if he gets any sort of space, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. Because we've already seen what he can do when he runs through that gap. That's going to be stolen, read like a book, from the Chiefs there at line-out time. Now across Quintupaya, inside of the 22. Great low tackle made by Geordie Barrett. Counter-ruck coming from the Canes with Proctor, but they haven't got the turnover. Tolkiaho now. Hey, Simran, okay, are not working today. Says Ruth. Those pens are BS. Says Stay Hunky. Oh, dropped by Kini Naholo. He said it went backwards. Referee says otherwise. And no Summer Penny female for this game, sadly, due to injury. I think he's still out for a few more weeks. But now 10 minutes into the second half. Chiefs have the more momentum of the two, but then we also saw them have more momentum in the early stages of the last half. And then it kind of went downhill. Yep, Satyrs can bounce back and sting us. Home game ain't easy for the Blues down in Christchurch. Says Blues, Nate. But yeah, it's going to be a good game, I believe, because the Crusaders, it's as close as they've been to getting wins. They haven't been able to find that little bit of extra at the end of a game that they need. And, I feel like the Blues are getting more and more clinical as the season wears on. So it could be stylistically quite a entertaining matchup between the two sides. So Wallace Satiti now onto the field. That is for Kalen Boshier, who has been taken off. Something Finau out for the rest of the Super season. There's Mana. That's going to be a free kick now going the way of the Hurricanes, even though it was the feed for the Chiefs. Aiden Ross is actually the man who's been penalised for that one. Up against Tossi. Right. What are they going to do here? Looks like they're just going to go for the free kick of booting it extremely high for Geordie Barrett. And well taken by Sean Stevenson, who was lined up by Sangster, Isaiah Walker, Leo Whitty, as well as Peter Lakai, all ready to try and steal that ball. Johnny at 15, Fiaki doing well at the wing. So his backline looks solid. That's going to be now an advantage in favour of the Hurricanes. DJ Perenara gets across to Geordie Barrett. It's going to be knocked down by Tupaya. Oh, and the players are still going on this far side. It's going to be a bloodshed match for the Satyrs. And will depend on selection and combination, I reckon, says Mr. Orlin. Now, 51 minutes in. This is a shot at the post that the Hurricanes, I believe, should take. They're about 25 metres out. TJ asking for a yellow card. Unfortunately, if he keeps on asking for one, he might actually get one for himself rather than the Chiefs. They are going to take on the 3 points here. That is now 5 penalties in a row going against the Chiefs. And it is Xavier Numia. Just locks over the ball. And TJ shush. Says a bad Zangu. He better miss. He probably won't. Says no, mum. It's going to be Brett Cameron now. I hear a few boos around the crowd at the moment. Trying to put Brett Cameron off kicking. Doesn't look like he's too phased though. As he strikes it and gets it over, and that'll now make the score 17 points to 7. So it may have started at a frantic pace for the first half of this contest, and the first stages of the second half, but just seems like at the moment we're at a bit of a stalemate between the two sides. Sounds like there's a few more changes. Right, Marnie, Selby Rickett, Aidan Ross, and also Quinn Tupai all taken off the field. Rameka Poihipi on. Also, we do see in that front row, Gerald Prophet making his way onto the park, and then Nato Akoi once again on, but not for Tupavai this time. And hurry up, Jason, get some tries. Let's go the Canes. Says Daryl. I've just mentioned now the Hurricanes have been the more accurate side throughout this contest, although the Chiefs, the benefit that they've got is they still have plenty of players who have the ability to score. Billy Proctor dropped hard by Luke Jacobson, who was running straight at him. Now Ratama back across to the right-hand side to Anton Leonard-Brown-McKenzie with the inside ball. The referee's been dropped here now. Paul Williams taking a big shot, and it's going to be the scrum feed now for the Chiefs. Tupavai saying that he should get an HIA for it. Okay, the comment there from Paul Williams asking Tino Nanasatoro if he's all right. And he said that he thought that Tino Nanasatoro got him better than Tino Nanasatoro, or he got Tino Nanasatoro. Yeah, it was a good shot. Didn't even slow Tino Nanasatoro down. That's some of the, some of the impressive nature of these wingers. He's disappointed about it, Tino Nanasatoro, but still going to be a scrum feed here for the Chiefs. That was needed come on the Canes, and Geordie's always saved the Canes with his kicks. Says Adam, although in this game they've also got Brett Cameron. Currently finds himself sitting 3 from 3. Geordie Barrett 0 from 1 at the moment, but that long kick of Barrett can be what really helps them. Any links to watch the game? Unfortunately, it's only really Sky here in New Zealand. You can do it, Chiefs, and TJ gives ref a yellow. Ref Williams, come on, mate. Says Naz there. He's in pain, pretend to be tough. I mean, to be fair, he wore it pretty well. He got a shot on the spine from a Tino Nanasatoro, and he's continuing in this game. Now Cortez Ratama going back across the right-hand side to Damien McKenzie. Beautiful wide cut out pass to Amoni Narua, who tries to little chip him on, and he's kicked it out on the full there for the Chiefs. Gone a bit quiet, buddy. Score getting to you, Stuart. Yeah, another mistake made by the Chiefs. Unfortunately, they're becoming a little bit too common throughout this game. Hi, Hamish. Is that this at the Tunnel of the Cape Tin at FMG Stadium? So, yeah, Waikato have got themselves the home field advantage in this game. Last time these two sides played, it was actually in Wellington. And we did see the Hurricanes get themselves the win by about 13, I believe it was. Now, penalty goes the way of the Hurricanes. Joining early there from the Chiefs. And relax, says Ivan, and well done, ref. Take that from an athlete. You're doing well to be standing, says Joe Weaver. That was kind of the point that I was making as well. Like, when you see the difference in terms of how easily Paul Williams got knocked over, and Paul Williams, don't get me wrong, he's not a huge bloke, right? But he's also, I wouldn't say he's too small. He's probably the average sized human. And a Tino Nana Satoro just ran over him. Because, like, some of these guys just go ham when it comes to the strength department. And come on, the rest, there's enough yellows on the field. Did you cover the Wires versus Panthers game? I didn't, but brilliant performance from the Warriors, managing to get themselves that late comeback and win that game. 12 penalties to 5 is the current count. So the Hurricanes haven't given away a penalty for about maybe 30 minutes, whereas the Chiefs can't stop giving them away now. Oh, that's going to be a drop ball. I think that is a knock on. No, it's actually been called as backwards. So the ball is still there for the Hurricanes now. Velocio Tosi. Looks like Sangster's come off the field. That is for Caleb Delaney. First of many changes that we will see for the Hurricanes in terms of straight swaps rather than a player coming on for a red. Oh, taken beyond the ball there. Peter Lakai. Could have been the penalty going against him there. Big run from Xavier Numia. Who's on the yellow, says stay hunky. No one at the moment, but I think the Chiefs are on one of their last warnings. Barrett throws the pass to Amoni Narawa. Now that is a call that we may make for the All Blacks this year, but not the call that Barrett would have liked in that scenario. Proctor takes the ball back, or does he? Penalty advantage. It's called as cynical, and Proctor's going to the bin by the sounds of it. Okay, Billy Proctor. Hang on. It's not against Proctor. 11's offside. Kitty Naholo. So Proctor did well. He managed to get the turnover. Kitty Naholo's the man who has been sent off, because Proctor did brilliantly there to get that turnover. I'm sure it's not as cold as where I am, says Simran in there. How good on the field, or how good is the Hurricanes' defense? Yeah, it's very strong, but we're going to see it here. Kitty Naholo. Interesting. So Kitty Naholo got sent to the bin for not even touching the ball there. But it's one of those ones that he was offside, but it just didn't really go near him. Paul Williams is shocking ref, the worst trigger-happy fellow in New Zealand. Looks like Amoni Narawa might have a bit of an injury here as well. What is the story with the player strike? No idea. I haven't actually heard anything about it, to be honest. And we ups the Hurricanes, homie. Though it's a Leinster and Toulouse final, still got a All Black Super Rugby Aotearoa that she's it, homie, yeah, says Notorious Rogue. And of course, we are going to be covering that Champions Cup final between Leinster and Toulouse. Bye-bye, Naholo. And yeah, Proctor was confused by that decision. Naholo off. And also got the Highlanders, says Kylie. Yeah, so I think Naholo's comment there was, I didn't touch the ball. So he was confused. It's 10 degrees here, a nice temp. Says Pads ablaze. And now Kenny Naholo, he will be off the field for the next 10 minutes. And the Chiefs have now got themselves another advantage, or another opportunity to try and score a try, with 23 minutes remaining. The question mark is, who is it going to be that they throw at the line here? Oh. Now, stolen by Caleb Delaney at line-out time. Now, kick downfield from Geordie Barrett. Finds open space in behind where Stevenson is going to be waiting for the counter-attack. Gets us past to Atino Nana Saturo. And the Chiefs, for coffee ready for the Saders tomorrow, for their final destination. Says Spider-Mick, the ball was out. Says Stuart Moore. Now Ratama going across to Damien McKenzie. Oh, Braden Yorsey, a little bit slow to get back to his feet here. Might have had a little bit of a knock. Keeping a close eye on him, but it looks like he's going to continue playing. That is now going to go almost to him. Not picked up by Anton Leonard-Brown, who got down there first. Yossi still trying to get rid of those cobwebs after taking the big shot, but now past our wide. Amoni Narawa puts the ball in behind. And Cameron has no option but to run this one into touch. Simon Parker still considering taking it quickly. I won't be able to. Penny used the C word. He did. And everyone's gone ballistic over it. But if you've been to any sort of event in Australia or New Zealand, you will hear that word about 47 times. Definitely if it's like a group of just random people. Like, that word just gets thrown around like it's a word for mate over here. Next minute, or 20 minute, come on the Chiefs. That reporter was a trolling, says Nars Williams, and how can he Chiefs keep giving away so many penalties, but the Canes keep getting the cards. Says Scott Dawson. I think their benefit is they've given away a lot of penalties for different things in this game, but now looking for the rolling maul. So Wallace Satiti is hanging on to this one here for the Chiefs, going off to the short side. Wallace Satiti scores it. And that is going to be the try now. For the Chiefs, they are back into the contest. Even though, well, no, they do have the man advantage. And drunk as go the Canes. Great call, brother. And thumbs up, all that good stuff. Good night. I'm crashing out now, says Doctor. So we will see you later on, boom, baby. Says Drink on the Moon, come on the Chiefs. Says Nov Mum. And there as well. But Wallace Satiti just breaking off the back. Manages to score the try as well. And this game is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. And yay, titty try. I'll turn on the heater. Says it Blues note. And yep, just at the fingertips there, Wallace Satiti. It's only been on the field for not too long. You're allowed to say precarious, not a swear word. Depends on who you talk to. There's words that some people find offensive that other people don't. Like that Rob Penny situation. Like, some people think that word's just fine, don't they? What is the crowd like? Pretty full. And they're starting to get a lot louder now that we're seeing 20 minutes left with only a split of 5 points, which is about to become 3 if Damien McKenzie can get this one over. 27 metres out. McKenzie does get it. And that is now going to make the score 14 points to 17. You can do it, the Chiefs. Says him and Wallace. Says Adam there. Yeah, Wallace Satiti, the son of, can't remember what his dad's name is, but he was actually at the last game for the Chiefs. In fact, he might have actually been at the last few games. Sounds like Triple T making his way onto the field now for the Chiefs. That is to replace Cortez Aratima. It's still a man advantage for the Chiefs for the next 6 minutes. Amish, was that reporter out of line? Depends on who you talk to, isn't it? Because, like, of course, it's one of those scenarios. Should he have been, like, asking the questions that he was? Probably not. Like, you got to have some sort of respect. Like, because everyone's going, oh, Penny should have given him more respect. But the reporter should have also respected Rob Penny to a certain extent. So I feel like it's the case of neither of them were really in the right, but it's more of the case of depending on what your stance is on the Crusaders will depend on who you go with in terms of who was in the right, who was in the wrong. That's a great run from Josh Morby. He's in the right place, right time at the moment. Oh, he's just been hit by Tino Nana Satoro. The ball's still there for the Canes. Takiaho has been taken off the field. That is going to be for Tyrone Thompson. Satiti Fab, good try. Says Ruth there. Let's go the Canes, strike back, says John. And 3 tries to go, says Nars Williams. And I'm wrong again, says Shane. Now stolen by Tupovai, I should say. Porter, it's their job, says Spider-Man. Yeah, but at the same time, like I said, like, there's a reason that journalists in New Zealand get such a bad rap, and that man was one of them. That one's going to be kicked in behind, nicely taken by Brett Cameron. I got some cool Warriors merch on Facebook, $29 for 2024 NRL jersey. Looks awesome. Says Ed Smith, that kick has gone out on the full by Brett Cameron. Might have hurt his knee, though, while kicking that one. He gave it an almighty hoof. It's gone out on the full. Oh, yeah, he's kind of wobbled afterwards. After striking that one, boom, yep, the knee kind of popped forward. Looks like he's going to be all right, though, to be able to continue. And he kind of has to be because the Chiefs are already countering again. Flat ball, great save from Billy Proctor, like a goalkeeper saving a penalty there. He managed to stop the try-scoring chance. Rivers run deep. River runs low, living in the land of the mighty Waikato. Hello from Rota Vegas, everyone, says Aaron. If the Highlanders got a chance to move to 3rd on the table, they do not know. They got a chance to stay in the top 8, though. And then it's probably their big goal here when they do go up against the Fijian draw on Sunday. Now that one's going to be kicked high. Nicely taken by a Tenai Nana Satoro. Now to Huriarangi. Goes back across to Dyer. Now Takiaho, Vai thought about offloading to Ngātoa Koi. Yossi, he got the penalty for the Canes. The top four is semi-locked in, says at Novmum. And there's Owen Proctor, man, says Mr. All-In. Yeah, the man's got to be in with a shot of an AB's call-up, doesn't he? Still looks like Yossi's struggling a little bit after taking that knock earlier on, but they are going to go for the 3 points here for the Hurricanes. This time, Geordie Barrett will have the responsibility. But yeah, the one-handed saving dive from Billy Proctor. What about 4 for 5th? Says Levi. Well, the way that it currently sits, they are sitting at 23 points. So the most that they can move up to is 33. So theoretically, they can move into 5th, but that is if the Reds and the Rebels do lose all their games from here on out, or one game lost for the Rebels' sake. But yeah, like the highest they can go is 5th. But like the lowest that they can go is actually outside of the top 8. So they'll want to make sure they're getting it right in their last 2 games, the Highlanders. Hamish Status fans are calling for Penny's head. So who cares about a couple of tough questions? My goodness. Says Mana Black. Well, so I assume you're firmly in favour of the reporter then, Mana Black. In that case, saying that he did nothing wrong and that Penny shouldn't have used a slightly bad word towards him in that case. Possibly. But, like, that's the thing. Like, at this stage, everyone's calling for a new coach without realising that no matter what, the Crusaders are going to be bad next year as well, unless they get a little bit of chemistry, unless they get a little bit of, I guess, what made the Crusaders strong, which was the fact that their player pool was stacked. At the moment, they're a little bit light in certain positions. You know, when you got Johnny McNichol playing 15, that's almost enough to just say that is why they're struggling, because they just haven't got the players that they once had. And people expected a side that lost about 12 All Blacks to then continue with those same All Blacks. That's going to be a knock-on from the Hurricanes. They're going to be 22 metres out from their line here, the Chiefs, with their own scrum feed. Hamish Rubin still on the field. I think so. I haven't seen him go off yet. But I think the fact that him and Cameron are both struggling with slight knee injuries at the moment might mean that he's still, I can see he's on the field because he's still like testing that knee in the back. That'll be easy money. Says Drink on the Moon. And another penalty, says Ruth. And also cheers for this, mate, says Aaron. No worries at all. We've got plenty more Super Rugby coming up this weekend. Come on, ref, give it a rest, says Spider Mick. And there's been a lot of penalties throughout this game. And let's go to Canes, says Daryl. I don't think that's how weather works. And Chiefs 2 more tries, says Moa Hunters, and time remaining for the guy in the bin. He has still got another 20 seconds remaining. So as soon as we get some sort of stoppage, he will be back out on the park for Kenny Naholo. Now, Triple T from inside of his 22 goes across to Sean Stevenson. And that one's gone into touch. When are you and George doing a Kiwi Lads Entertainment podcast? Probably never. I don't think. Maybe a special one somewhere along the lines, but no plans of a permanent podcast taking place on that channel. Miracle is 17 all. And Chiefs will score tries soon, says him. And up the Chiefs, says Poor Thunder. Joshuani has now made his way onto the field as well. So not many subs remaining here for the Chiefs. Now, that was a little bit high from Luke Jacobson. And the penalty does go against the Chiefs again. So that will now bring the Hurricanes back to 15. I wonder whether or not they will just leave Salisi Reasi off or bring him on and leave Kenny Naholo off. Too busy to stay tuned in today. Just stopped by to say hi, Hamish, says Bruce. Welcome in, mate. Hopefully you have got a fun weekend ahead of your plan. That's a good kick from Barrett right towards the corner. Paul Williams is the penalty king. He loves blowing, says Mana. But yeah, just high on Richard Judd. I think that one was probably not even below the ears of Judd. That's the only way I can see they'll score live, thanks. Says Aaron there. And now it's for the fans that itch. Come on, hurry up. Says Blues Nate. Yeah, this is one of those games that I feel like it's going to go down to the final few phases. And a lot of people know it as well in terms of either of these sides still got a very good chance of winning it. So both sets of fans I would say, are quite nervous at the moment for their own side in this one. Ball's going to be there. Drop ball from Brett Cameron, but he has now picked it up again. To go backwards. Try here for the Canes. Says Darryl, and they have got numbers on this left-hand side. Geordie Barrett decides to take the contact again. Natua Koi looking for the counter ruck. Does get cleaned out by the Canes big forwards. Is that right? Want to explain your weather theory just for your comment? You never know weather is weird nowadays. I assume that is the one you're talking of. Oh, big shot on McKenzie. His mouth guard came out. I think that was his mouth guard anyway. Either that or about his old set of teeth just went onto the park, onto the field. No, he's all right. Whatever it was, it's not a part of McKenzie. Now into the pocket. Sean Stevenson has once again exited his team's 22. Yeah, Hamish could go down to the white oosh. Says the Blues net and come on the Canes, get a try. Just that cheeky little kick in behind from Ruben Love. The hurry's back will do it, says Ross. Yeah, the shot on McKenzie was an absolutely massive one. Chiefs need a try, says him. And the Canes do too. Whoever gets the next try in this contest, I would argue, oh, that's a hand and touch from Richard Judd. Flag has been thrown up by the touch judge like we're playing a bit of American football there. A great kick. And first he ran into the fist. Now this. He's duffed that for fella T-Mac. He takes a lot of shots, Damien McKenzie, when he's out there on the field. Sounds like Billy Proctor. A knock on there from the touch judge. A few Hamish more penalties than ball passes. Says over here. There's been a lot. Oh, and Geordie Barrett's got a cut above the eyeball. Just sitting on that part there. Live streaming. Sky is your best bet, but it is a paid subscription if you are here in New Zealand. Ex-Chiefs player playing for the Tigers. He just scored, didn't know that. Says it was there from Mana Black. So far we've seen 16 tackles missed by the Chiefs, so actually a pretty decent second half in terms of those tackle stats compared to the first half where they did miss 11. They've only missed 5 throughout this second half of rugby, up to 69 minutes now in this game, and still only 3 points difference between these two sides. Question mark, of course, is who is it going to be? We're 11 minutes away from the end of this contest. There is time. You just got to wonder who is going to be that guy who steps up in this game. Because I honestly have not many ideas about who is going to score this one. If there is one, that's the thing. We've had 2 tries so far in the second half, both of which have been scored by the Chiefs. And now they have got the ball. And again, I always thought D-Mac would play or make a fairly transition into NRL. Oh well. Says Naz Williams. Check that guy, Love, or that Love guy for the AB, says Shane. Put me on the spot. I better just stay cool. Says Panther Blaze, line break. Looking good here for the Chiefs again. McKenzie puts it across and well handled by Sean Stevenson to Hurricanes. As the prediction there from Adam for who will score next. Chiefs momentum gets them up just. There's an advantage now for a tip tackle against the Canes. Now Thompson back across to McKenzie. Chipped in behind. It's taken by Flanders. And they'll go back for the penalty again. This would almost be within the kicking distance for Damien McKenzie if they really want to. But do they? Is the big question. And hold on there, Chiefs, not far to go. You can do it, says Cornelio. Right, they're taking on the 3 points here for the Chiefs. So this would put them back to 17-17. Yeah, Pori Rakati Stones just on the wrong side of that breakdown. That officer Dylan has said go the Canes. And come on, Canes, says Heaney there. And come on, the Hurricanes, says Stuart Moore. But McKenzie now, he's only missed the 1 kick today. About 42, or in fact 43 metres out. They just mentioned that it is a sellout for this contest. Initially, they were going to be just short. More people showing up to this game, wanting to see these two sides in action. Oh yeah, I've got there. Let's go. The Chiefs says toxic. And also, come on, Brett. Says that Officer Dylan. But now lining up this one, Damien McKenzie. Smiling at the posts. And he strikes it. And he has got it. 17-17 between these two sides. This is happening right now. It is indeed 71.5 minutes through this game. 17 each for these two sides. We've got ourselves a game going to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. And there are still 8 minutes to go. So we're in the position how either of these sides can still win it. Nicely taken by Natua Akoi. It's dragged down by Barrett, who has got some strapping on his forehead now after that cut on the eye. And come on, the Canes, you got this, says Daryl. And nah, says Talu. Now inside of the 22. Nana Satoro goes down the middle of the field, well controlled at the back from Ruben Love. Looking for the gap, Wallace. Oh, that's bad on the knee. That's just made it worse. Why is he still on the field here, Ruben Love? They've got replacements, but all they're doing is risking a career, or not a career, but the season-ending injury here for Ruben Love if he keeps on playing. But they must feel that he's that crucial to be out there. Here he goes. Only really running slightly slowly, kicks it in behind, and it's a nice easy mark for Retino Nana Satoro. The man has lost a lot of speed. He's lost his precision as well. I don't know why they haven't taken him out off the field. They've still got Salisi Reasi. They've still got Peter Umaga Jensen. Surely someone can cover that spot. Adamo is the man. Says Papapaki. Now, Kanina Holo. Oh, with a chip in behind, he's been hit by a wall. And they're going to say play on. And that he wasn't taken out. Now taken by Brett Cameron. Inside of the 22, fires it across to Geordie Barrett. It looks like he's going to go for that torpedo kick of his. Hasn't quite struck it cleanly. And that sits up beautifully for Josh Ioane on the halfway line. Gets it away to Atenai. Nana Satoro. Chipped him behind. Now they're going to ask if he's been taken out. Love sold by the bounce. Forces the ball. And it's going to be the goal line dropout. Ruben's gone for the season. Says John, not yet, but he will be if they keep on playing him in this game. Like they have to make the change. I see that Peter Umaga Jensen is out there. Salisi Reasi is still another option that they've got in terms of those backs. Right. They've finally done it. Reasi onto the field for Ruben Love. It's about time. He's been struggling for about maybe 30 minutes in this contest. Now Wallace Atiti gonna build some steam up. Taken down by James O'Reilly. 6 minutes remaining in this game now, ladies and gents. Nicely run forward by Rameka Poyapiyosi. Trying to cause a bit of disruption in that breakdown. Now in behind again, McKenzie. Cut out pass to Sean Stevenson. Oh, that was head on head. Right, they're both dipping into each other. Leave them out there. Says Adult Entertainment. Rings your cowbell. Says no, mum, go the Chiefs. Says Poor Thunder. And the Chiefs rock all day. Says Popper. That one's going to be put in behind. In fact, it's a knock on there from the Chiefs. Cleaned up by Morby. Kicks it downfield. So the advantage is over this one inside of the 22 for the Chiefs. And he kicks it towards the touchline. Doesn't find it. Looks like Morby is down with either cramp or some sort of injury. Reasi now going for the low driving kick. Sits up for Retino Nana Satoro. And he will put that one into touch. Around the halfway line now, Hurricanes will have themselves the throw-in for the line out. And thanks, guys. Love your stream, my brother. Says Shane. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. We are back tomorrow with some more of Super Rugby. First game, Crusaders versus Blues. It's the next one that we are going to be covering. 17-17 full-time. Although if it's full-time and 17-17, we go to golden point time. And one of these sides do have to win this game. Although you can also end up in the situation of no one winning. Or, well, like having the draw still after golden point time. Now, Richard Judd crossed there to Geordie Barrett. Question mark is who is going to get themselves the win. There's Salisi Rayasi running it forward, gets the offload to Braden Yossi. Diving attempt there. Tell you what, I think that's close to the try for Kenny Nolo, but they will have to check this to see if Judd's knocked it on, which I think he did. But the Hurricanes putting on the pressure, and Kenny Nolo may have just got his 4th try of the season there. Or did he? I love your channel, bro. Can't afford the sky. Says Papa, we are greatly appreciative of your being here. Yossi went for that pass. That's a knock on, I believe, from Richard Judd there. He was staying very quiet after it was scored. I think this is going to be no try. Can 45 points come? Probably not in this game, no. So Ioane had the first one. Judd had the second knock on. Yeah, he gave it away with his reaction, Richard Judd. When he knocked it on, he kind of went, and then... Oh, they want to go upstairs and they want to have a look at this one. Great work from Josh Ioane to cut off that last pass, because if he didn't get a fingertip to it, it would have been all over for the Chiefs in this game. Right. Yeah. I would say he would have had to have got a fingertip there for Richard Judd. We're seeing it in slow motion. Oh, there's actually a knock-on there as well from Richard Judd. And then he got a fingertip. He had 2 knock-ons in the process for Richard Judd. So yeah, they can go no try for both of them. Men try yes, no, no try in that case. So it's going to be the scrum feed now for the Chiefs. And up the Chiefs says T. Ahomiro Emery. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And what happens after golden point shots to the post? Not in this. They just go to a draw. So both sides would end up with the same points from the game, which I believe they get 2. Or they might get 3, actually, for being within 7 of each other. Bro, the Chiefs says, Join, thank you for the comment on the game. No worries. We have got Blues versus Crusaders tomorrow as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. 5 metres out from their line now, the Chiefs have got themselves the scrum feed with Triple T. He wasn't going to put that one in. Oh, tell you what, the voice sounds awful today, doesn't it? Sound like I'm back in high school. And now, Rangi into the pocket to Sean Stevenson. In fact, it's Ateno Nana Satoro getting a great kick away. Now 3 minutes left now. How long is golden point? Normally 10 minutes, I believe. 5 minutes each half, or it might be 10 minutes actually each half that they do end up playing for the golden point. I haven't even got a waka. In fact, I don't even know if they go halves in golden point. It might just be 10 minutes, and if no one scores any points, then it is a draw. But we are about to see it. If no one is able to get any points here, let's go. The Chiefs is the back seat. James O'Reilly ready to throw this one in. If there's ever a time to get a line out wrong, for the Chiefs, they'll be hoping it's this one. Now, nicely taken by Isaiah Walker-Leowiri. Flat run from Geordie Barrett, who is flattened by Profit. Players being held in, or is he? No, it's going to be the penalty advantage in favour of the Hurricanes. The crowd are not happy, as that would be about the 16th penalty against the Chiefs in this game. Right, they're going back for the penalty. This will not use up the rest of the time on the clock, but it will bring us very close. Big call, says Mr. All-In, not rolling against Luke Jacobson. Okay, Luke Jacobson saying I was stuck. I couldn't actually roll anywhere. And in his defense, about 3 Hurricanes players did just dive on him to stop him from going anywhere, which was very strategic because now they've got themselves that penalty. Big shot, though, from Jacobson, who put in the hit. Then from there, I think he had, he wasn't going to be able to go anywhere there with the arms that were around him. Okay, Jeff Wilson has just said that should not be a penalty in this game, and that shouldn't be a penalty in general. Now Brett Cameron sitting 3 from 4 today for a chance to give the Hurricanes a 3-point lead with around 60 seconds remaining in this game. Let's go for a drop goal, says Stuart Moore, but Cameron strikes it and he's got it over. 20 points to 17 now. Still time left, 1.5 minutes to go. The Hurricanes fans, they are well and truly fired up for this one. And where on the field are they now? They will be on halfway because the kick has gone over. So they've got 1 minute. The Chiefs are kicking it off from right to left. And McKenzie tries to get it up high for Va'i, but it's claimed by Peter Umanga Jensen, who came off the bench for the Hurricanes. They've got 40 seconds now to hang on to this ball. If they do so, they will win this game by 3. If they don't manage to keep this ball in their favour, this is probably a kickable 3 for the Chiefs if they can win a penalty, which I believe will be exactly what they try and do. Richard Judge is looking up. There's the siren. Back into the pocket, and the Hurricanes, they will win this game 20 points to 17. So 2 tries scored throughout the second half, none of which coming from the Hurricanes. I think Stuart is the only one who said 2 tries to be scored in the second half, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations to you, Stuart. You win nothing, but you get your name up on the screen. So hopefully that is enough. But yeah, like I've just said, Brett Cameron nailing that last kick in such an important time in this game as well. But they will walk away with the victory there. The Hurricanes, after a great start in this game, after having a red card from Tupu Tupu, they still managed to get themselves the win. Show us the game. The game is over, Lucas. We have got there too many penalties, just smash them. And hard luck, our brothers done. And thanks so much for listening to the Satyrs game, up the Satyrs. And also, all goods, Hurricanes still in the North Island lull. And also, yeah, boys, says Jims. And there was on too many penalties, just smash them. Yeah, I think there was about maybe 17 penalties against the Chiefs in this game. And the Hurricanes, their discipline was poor in that first 10 to 15 minutes where they did give away a couple penalties and also that yellow card. But I think that the big thing that was the difference maker was the fact that they were able to control that discipline in the later stages of the game, whereas that is where the Chiefs continuously did end up infringing. We saw the 2 tries for the Hurricanes in that first half, one from Xavier Numia and one from Barrett. And then for the Chiefs, we saw the 2 tries in the second half being scored by Amoni Narawa within 20 seconds almost of the half getting underway. Or maybe about 40 seconds. I was a bit too generous there. And then the other try coming for them a little bit later on in the half. And unfortunately for them, just not quite enough for the Chiefs to get themselves the victory. And Jez Hamish, another awesome call. And also best New Zealand commentary after Grant Nisbet, factual impastical, says Shane. And I can't spell, I don't know what that word is, but hopefully it's a good one. But yeah, greatly appreciate it. Can't wait for the highlights, says Jaden. And up the mighty Hurricanes. And good night, Chiefs, and all good. Chiefs will win this final, says Roy. And there as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. We are going to be live tomorrow for the Challenge Cup final, which is taking place at 7 a.m. New Zealand time. So we will be up bright and early for that contest. Alongside that, we are also going to be covering the game taking place between the Crusaders and the Blues. And then also the Champions Cup final between Leinster and Toulouse. With on Sunday, the game between the Highlanders and the Fijian drawer as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, sure leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.